What's up, boys?
How's it going, everyone? This is the 6 Mil Show. Welcome to, I think, episode 4 now is what we're up to. We've had a nice little run, a nice little start, but with the current situation of the lockdown still being in progress, the fact that it's been glorious out, and me and my buddies, including Grimlock, who is joining me today on the podcast, it's been really crap that we haven't been able to get out and play, even to somewhere local like Outpost. So what I thought we'd do in this episode is just basically go through advice for new players, people are thinking getting into it. So understandably, if you're a veteran player, you play for a few years, this might not necessarily be for you, but we'd be interested to know what advice you would give. So please throw it up in the chat and throw it down in the comments when this goes up onto YouTube. So, Grimlock, being a Airsoft veteran who's played longer than even me, back in the day when you were contending with probably riffs that were not even doing 100 feet per second, what would you be your main piece of advice for a new player?
Probably leave the dinosaurs at home.
You just went full retard. Never go full retard.
Yeah, because I'm so old. No, all right. Anyway, guys, yeah, Grimlock here. Well, yeah, Rifts actually back in the day did actually do more than 100 FPS.
Oh, right. I thought you were like little...
Yeah. No. You know, we didn't just blow BBs through a straw.
It's funny that you lose perception of time when you're in like. When you were playing 16, 17, 18, 19, it was only the 2000s, wasn't it? It wasn't like it was that long ago. So I am making out like you're ancient and you're sitting on your porch on your rocking chair with an old freaking CMAR shot going, "Get off my property." So I understand, but
it wouldn't be CMAR, it would be Maruzen.
Maruzen, all right. But yeah, what would you... All right, then, as a long-time player who has seen the advancement of the sport, what would you be your first piece of key advice to anyone looking to get into it?
Play as a rental. Rent the kit first. Don't dive straight in, spend all your money, because you might go out and play and then go, "Oh, this isn't for me." Don't go out and buy a sniper rifle either, because a lot of brand new players are like, "Oh, sniper rifle," and then it's just like, it's not for me. Because obviously there are several styles of sniper play. Yeah, you've got that one that you see Novrich play, which is that fast-paced scout sniper out front style. And then you've got the like Airsoft cam man, where he's all gillied up and, you know, the slower style. And both styles do take a lot of skill to get that single shot in, whereas with a full auto, you can sit there and go, "Bop, bop, 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 bop."
And you can scream at people in scouts as well.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
Mention that. This guy's seen some shit, man. Yeah, that's
Here's the things and some stuff.
With my dinosaurs. That was probably what I did. I started off as a rental. I got the bug pretty much after my first game, to be honest.
A lot of people do get the bug pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're going to get into it and you're going to enjoy it, it's usually your first or second game, and you know you're going to enjoy it. You're not liking it by your second game, it's probably not for you.
Then stick to COD.
Yeah, stick to video games, even though we play video games as well. But yeah, it's renting is probably a really important thing to do. Now, depending on the site, you can get some good rental kit and you can get some really bad rental kit. Bear in mind, it gets battered. I think my experience of rental kit was probably mediocre. It was fairly well maintained because they had their own on-site technician. But at the same time, it didn't stack up to when I got my first riff. It never will. So yeah, I'd agree with Grimlock. If you're going to get into the sport, rent. Now, I think my first key bit of advice when it comes to new players after you've gone through the rental period is seek advice. Now, a lot of players, including myself, went out and bought something. I got a G36 second hand, and we'll get to whether you should buy, whether you should buy second hand or not. I lucked out because I knew a guy who played extensively for quite a lot of time, and it was a good G36. It's lasted me 2 years. It was 6 years old at the time, and it still works apart from the trigger. But because it's so old, I can't get.
It doesn't actually work.
Yeah, well, all right. I can't get the part for it, so it's basically just sitting there collecting dust. But
you know what? Paperweights can look pretty too, you know.
I'm sure they can. I don't think any bank manager will get robbed if they've got a replica G36 holding down the latest billing report on his desk. But seek advice from other players about what works for them. Might not necessarily work for you, but when you're looking for your first riff, replica imitation firearm, for those of you who don't know, remember, we're talking to new players here. Seek advice from the people.
Or for those who just may not know.
Yeah. Seek advice from existing players. Go to a physical store. Don't go to forums. Don't try and seek it, go through chat parts of store websites. Go to a physical shop.
And for God's sake, stay off Facebook.
And stay off Facebook, yeah. There's loads of...
Don't stay off, but...
Yeah, well,
don't take everything.
Yeah. They can pretty much help you with your style of play.
Certain stores as well will let you can get your hands onto a weapon, onto a riff. You can get your hands on, you can play with it, you can test it out. And obviously, our local store, our local gun store has a range where we're able to test it all out as well.
Yeah. And the staff members can, if you're not particularly tall, if you're not particularly bulky like me, that you can find stuff that are the right weight, right size, suit your arm length. You can try it out, like Grimlock said, in certain stores. And that goes for tack vests, kit, belts, that side of thing. If you do...
Even a good old jock strap.
Yeah, even a good old jock strap. Wear your cup, kids, because I've been shot in the bollocks so many times, I'm beginning considering getting one of them. If you ever seen...
Well, you could just man up or woman up.
Woman up, yeah. How dare you?
Because Airsoft is an equal opportunity sport, and men and women do play.
Yes, you can get... Yeah, that is true. You actually do get a lot of variety of people... ex-service person.
That's one for you, actually, Carl. Back when I first started, there actually was not a lot of women airsofters. There wasn't many at all, and only in recent years, since I've come back in, have I noticed the boom in female airsofters playing, and I think it's fantastic that it's just everyone can enjoy it now. I mean, maybe it was because there was a stigma where it would be like, it's an army thing, or it's a man thing, but now, it's
that
great.
Brings me to an actual good bit of advice that I hadn't even thought of until you mentioned that. Leave your ego at the gate. Nobody, nobody, and I'm guilty of this because my original call sign was Rage Quit, and I do occasionally still lose my temper, but I've gotten way over it. Leave your ego at the gate. No one likes a person whether they're thinking they're shit hot,
which I am.
Which we are, by the way. Thinking shit hot, running around, shouting and screaming at people, and basically in Scouse, basically being a douchebag. We have experienced, we're not mentioning names, time and time again. What would be best described as stolen valor guys? People who claim to have seen it all and and think that because they're the bee's knees that they're invulnerable to getting hit, and they're sometimes the worst players in the world. My advice, you don't even have to get a kill. As long as you're taking your hits, you acknowledge good plays, and you're having a laugh, you'll be accepted, and you'll actually be considered a good player. Not necessarily a skilled player, but a good player. I mean, I've noticed I play a lot better, but I was terrible. I was absolutely appalling. You should have seen the freaking marks on my body when I first started playing. That's gone down considerably because I've sought advice, I've got better kit, and I've been accepted by my friends in the community because I wasn't a douche. And people help you out that way. So yeah, big advice. Rent, seek advice, go to a store, and leave your ego at the gate. Now, with that all being said, I think one of the main things as well is don't buy online unless you know what you're doing. I think what I mean by that is you can go to an online store for a physical store like Bomber, Patrol Base, Defcon. They sell branded stuff. They sell the stuff they know
can
about.
I just dive in here a sec, Carl?
Yeah.
Right. Well, listen up, guys.
All right.
We have a little thing in the community called Yukara as well. So technically, you're going to be renting for at least 3 games before you get your Yukara, and you are actually legally able to buy
Good point,
one of these riffs from a store or online before it is two-toned. Before it is taken from two-tone to being all black or the actual colour and the likes. So unless you actually have a friend who's willing to do it like that, but I wouldn't recommend doing anything like that.
No, that requires some credibility on the part of your friend and vouching for you. And
if you have a falling out, you can get your friend in a lot of
there's been incidents where that has gone wrong for people, and for retailers, which we would never encourage doing, to be perfectly honest with you.
Actually, I've got a possible future beginner airsoft right here. Phoebe, do you want to say hello to everyone out there?
Hello, Phoebe.
Do you want to start airsofting? Yeah. Phoebe is turning 12 in July, and she wants to come out and join me.
Almost the legal age to start playing properly, with supervision, of course.
Yeah, and full face mask.
Yeah, that's another thing. Don't skimp on face protection. For crying out loud. Eye protection and face protection
is a must.
Is a must. Buy brand. So go and see your advice in the store and everything like that. Don't buy online. That's what I was trying to get to. Never buy Face Pro online. That's eBay or Amazon. Even if you think it's branded like Bully or a brand Bully goggles or something like that, they could be knockoffs.
Bully, Wiley X, ESS, Revision. They're just some brands I'll spout out and say, do with it. Oakley.
You can get full War Q's more expensive end. That's full face mask and helmet. You've got Vulcan. They do riffs as well, so they also do a full collection. Viper Tactical, I swear by them. Cheap and cheerful, but really good quality.
Neutral do them as well.
Yeah.
But I use my Neutrals now actually just as driving glasses. I have always sworn by ESS Ice, which I was issued in the army. And then once they kind of finally copped out on me after like 15 years of constant use, I went with Revision Sawflies, which everyone else seemed to be using. Yeah. Again, even those pairs of shooting glasses for me, and I cannot recommend them enough. That's ESS Ice or Revision Sawfly.
And we're not shilling. We're not getting sponsored by these guys. This is stuff we actually use and we swear by. Even a decent...
Oh Christ, I wish I was getting sponsorship. I would love another pair of ESS Ice that doesn't cost me. But the thing is, you pay that money because you only get one set of eyes.
Yeah.
And you only get one set of eyes.
Wouldn't risk your teeth either. So don't skimp on Face Pro. That's eye protection and a full face mask. There's a lot of people who don't use full face masks, and you have to be over 18 to not use a lower face protection.
I actually started after doing my half day rental shift, half day of being a rental. After that, I never used lower face pro. I just had shooting glasses, which was the ESS Ice.
Yeah.
Since getting back into airsoft, I always have lower face pro now.
Yeah, I would never not use it. I'd always have some sort of face covering, especially
even like the likes of a snood type, the two puppy scarfing, a shamag, something that can cover your mouth, even your nose. You just need to make sure you can get a good anti-fog as well. The Revision anti-fog wipes are fantastic, apparently.
Yeah, there's people. I've seen someone do a combination of the snood and actual gum shield in his mouth as well. Which there's loads of different combinations, but as a new player,
you find what works for you.
Yeah.
Well, no, whether you think it may look goofy or not, it doesn't matter if it works. It's like Murphy's Law. If it's stupid but works, it isn't stupid.
Yeah.
As long as it works for you and you are comfortable in its use, go for it, guys. You could have a bright pink gum shield for all I care. You could come onto that airsoft field wearing bright pink camo for all I care. And if you're happy in that, and you are a good player and you're taking your hits, if you need advice and you come and ask me, that's all that matters to me, because all I want at the end of the day is new players to have a good time, because that leads to player retention.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You'll find a lot of players who play a lot all the time and have gone through all the problems of getting kit and not knowing what they're doing, and then even those, I would say, who are ex-service personnel don't quite understand. No real firearms, but don't know AEGs because they're replicas, AEGs, gas blowback, CO2.
I had a couple of mates who were in the army with me, and they came airsoft, and they it was like watching them coming from doing field exercises with our artillery guns and all that, being fully trained professionals, across to the airsoft field, and they're like, it's like.
Why is it not
working? That's the pointy end. Keep that away from your face.
Yeah, why is it not working? Why is this mag rattling? It's not firing. It's battery powered. I should have hit him. No, it's a BB, not a full ballistic round.
That's another thing as well. BBs don't travel as far or as fast as a real bullet.
Yeah.
So you most likely are not going to be hitting these people. I mean, unless you're like literally face to face on and it's like, definitely hit him. I mean, you can get some good range with a BB gun, with an airsoft gun. Get good range, good accuracy. Learn your weapon once you've got it.
Yeah, that's probably another thing to do is learn your weapon. And don't be afraid to seek advice from veteran players, because they've gone through.
Never be afraid to seek advice from veteran players,
and they're always
even
happy
people
to
who played a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I found myself after 4 or 5, 6 games helping rentals because I knew something they didn't. I know from personal experience myself, all the people I play with, whether we're marshalling or whether we're playing, if there's a group of rentals, we usually stick around them. We usually attach ourselves to them to help them out. I know you do, Grimlock. I've seen you do it. You hang around.
Like I said, player retention. I mean, I can go out and play anytime I like. They may be there for that, for that birthday, or this could be their first time. And I'm thinking, if they want to have a good time, this is it. Let's show them a good time, a good day, and then they might go, oh, you know what? We'd like to go back and do that.
Yeah, I think I think what you said a minute ago ties in quite nicely about kit. We're going to go through some of the kit we've purchased over our playing careers.
So stand by for an extra long session because the kit in my loft fills my loft.
Why don't we stick to the stuff you use the most? I think that might be the best thing to do.
Okay, so that now halves it.
Yeah,
so
we're going to be here for 4 hours instead of 8.
4 hours, it's going
to be 2. Go, like we've already said, go with what's comfortable, all right? We see all these... And here's an idea. Set a goal for your kit, what you want to do with it, what you want to... If you've got, you want to look like a favorite character.
Maybe you want it to look
game.
like...
Yeah.
Or maybe you just want it, just one kit that's comfortable.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Set a goal of what you want. I mean, I have gone through so many vests, from my first new pro to getting rid of my invader to having my warrior assault system now and my chest rig. I've gone through so much stuff, and it's been 2 years, and I've only just settled on something that I actually like to use. Will that be that way next year? Who knows? There's new stuff coming out all the time. But
I started with assault vests.
Yeah.
and I stuck with assault vests for so long. Ever since coming back into airsoft again, plate carriers is the way I'm going now.
Yeah.
I love using plate carriers.
Yeah, I mean, I had that big Invader assault vest, didn't I? Which I thought
That was like my old Cyrus, and that's where I started with plate
Yeah.
carriers, and I've slowly gotten smaller and smaller to where I'm at the jump plate carrier level.
Yeah, I've reduced down the size as well, because what you'll find is, well, I think I found is, if you're playing CQB, you're bulging out anyway. I'm not a small guy, but I'm bulging out anyway. And I'm
All right, we won't talk about what's in your pants.
Giggity. Come on, we're talking to new players here. Let's keep it PG for the very least. Try anyway.
Well, okay. His bulging biceps, and you know.
I gotta have me spinach. Don't know where the hell that came from. Yeah, just go with
New call sign Popeye.
I got to have me spinach. Pluto. No, Pluto was the bad guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Bluto. I think it was not Pluto. It was Bluto, and then there was olive oil, which was as bad. I think there was the Goon. I think it was.
Yeah.
And Jeep, the little
Jeep.
Weird dog thing that could go involved. Jeep. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeep as well.
We digress.
But we digress. Yeah. So I guess the key points for new players is rent, seek advice, don't skimp on iPro, seek actual. When I say seek advice from people who know what they're doing, from stores, from players on site. Don't skimp on iPro. Do what's comfortable for you and leave your ego at the gate. They are probably the 5 key things you could probably take away from this if you're thinking of starting Airsoft. Now, of course, when we say stay off Facebook, you're more than welcome to come onto our page on Facebook, which is Spartan Airsoft UK. And
I didn't actually mean stay off Facebook. I just mean take it with a pinch of salt, because
sites,
every forum's going to get the troll.
Yeah. And ask any of us advice on that. I'll put the link in the description in the YouTube video if you want to check us out. So now that we've gone through the first part of this, it's supposed to be a short blog version of this, we're going to get on to our own personal kit. I've developed mine over 2 years of playing, this being the 3rd year, and Grimlock himself has developed his over, I'm going to say decades. No. Well, it is, isn't it, really? It is technically decades, yeah.
It really is, because it is 21 years this year.
All right, 2 decades. I mean, yeah. Most people have started to get a bonus for long time service or something when they've been in a job for that long. Okay.
All I want is to be able to go to the VA and get me free breakfast.
Get me airsoft pension. Yeah.
Yeah, get me airsoft pension. Yeah.
You want that in 2 8s or 2 5s? Oh,
2 5, yes, Deirdre.
There's another bit of advice. He went from Andrew Taylor, guy with the drum mag. He went from the kit he got issued in the 1770s. Oh, you just got burned by Andy.
That's all right, because he's going to be on GTA later, and I'm going to kick his ass at it.
Run him over.
Well, yeah, after I make him an associate or whatever. In fact, I'm going to burn his yacht.
Sabotage.
But to be honest, though, he's still not wrong. It's probably about the 1770s. Sometime when I think America kicked us out of the colonies.
Yeah, 1776. Okay, so my kit, I started off using what I guess I call my normal clothes: pair of jeans, a thick jumper, and rented. And bought and had a lot of what is called battle rattle. We had my High Cap magazine, which is the magazine that winds up at the bottom, and a bottle of BBs in my back pocket. and ran around for 3 games doing that.
That is
basic
the
bitch, isn't it? That's basic Airsoft. Yeah.
That is the stereotypical rental picture.
It is, yeah, it is.
Where an old manky bloody issued coverall from the site, got the gun, got the full face mask,
didn't even have
pocket
that.
full of BBs and a single.
The sweaty smelling face bag, the gloves with the holes in, the lot, yeah. Not that we're trying to put you off.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, everyone goes
as
through
well.
it.
So not all sites have that. I mean, that was right back when we started.
Yeah.
Since then, things have come a long way.
Yeah.
They give you better face masks and everything now.
Yeah.
Obviously,
actually gives you
a lot of sites now will wash their.
Will wash their kit. Yeah. Then I went on to a new pro chest rig, got myself some Viper Keck, some Viper boots. Those boots lasted me ages.
Kecks, for those of you who are scouts, are pants or trousers.
Yes, if you're an American. I kitted it out with a few pouches and everything like that, and I got myself my first riff, which was my new pro Defender Pioneer.
And he's still battle rattled.
And I still battle rattled, but I felt like the bee's knees. I mean, there were other people who looked like total operator at that point, but veteran players and new players alike, who we won't go into at this moment, he just went out and bought everything as quickly as possible. And
it is a very common thing for some new players to
just to go out and spend.
Those with more money than sense tend to go out and buy it. Those with more street sense and credibility, etc. I don't know about credibility though. I'm making that up. Those those who've got more money than sense seem to go out and buy it all and all that. And then it's like, oh well, I didn't fancy sniping. It's shit.
I mean, it was about 16 months before I picked up my first sniper, and I hated it. I got rid of it straight away.
Why am I not as good as Novrich?
Yeah, because he's actually an ex-serviceman who actually used it and like playing for like 12 years. I should be instantly better than him, No, that doesn't happen.
No.
From my...
Dude, I'm an ex-service. I'm ex-service, and my sniper shots in Airsoft are worse than what they were in real life.
Dude, your sniper shots used 105mm rounds. Come on, that's right, you're crap.
Yeah. Most sniper shots are it's like
2
has
kilometers
the bullet
away.
with your name on it. The bullets in my gun had "To whom it may be concerned."
Yeah, it was like this bullet's got your name on it, and say "bitch, please" written on the side.
Because fuck that grid square.
Yeah, danger close.
Don't get me started. I loved Danger Close.
Oh man, you're mad. You're absolutely mad.
You had to be a fucking OP,
yeah,
which is observation post. But anyway, we digress.
After my new pro vest and kecks, what was my next one? I actually think I had that for the longest time. I then went into a combat tactical chest rig, jump rig, MTP. Got myself a U-Bax. Patched that up, and then after that, still had Battle Rattle. That's when I went on to mid-caps. I've been going back and forth from mid-caps. Mid-caps are basically magazines that feed through a spring and you don't wind up.
Yeah, they hold about 120 rounds.
140 rounds.
Yeah.
And they don't rattle. Wouldn't recommend that for a new player to start off with. Just putting that out there. You need to know your riff. You need to know...
I'd say maybe the new players, if they're going to get a high cap mag, get the flash mags because they're really easy to use. And you don't sat there winding, killing the tips of your fingers in the cold.
So speaking of kit, there's 2 different mags for a replica imitation firearm. They basically boil down to a high cap mag, which is something you wind up manually. They split down into a wheel mag or a flash mag, which uses a draw cord. Now, I'm actually doing the physical action of freaking winding a mag. with no camera. Just so I could explain it to myself while I'm speaking.
It's muscle memory, isn't it? It's muscle memory.
With a draw cord, you wind it up a few times, you close the hatch, you carry on doing it, and with them you can do them while the magazine's in the gun. A high cap is the complete opposite. You load it, you put it in, you fire, it's empty. Once it's empty, new mag in.
You mean a mid cap?
Yeah. Once it's empty, new mag in, have to reload it again. Just go, Andrew Taylor says, just go for battle marker with a drum mag. Oh yeah, there's drum mags as well. The battery operated mags. So there's all sorts of crazy
Andy's one of our friends who plays.
Yeah.
And his name in our chat is the guy with the drum mag. Now, he's got one of these. He's got an ARP9 with a drum mag, and you know what? It's basically like me running around with my mini-me, but the things it's just a small mini-me.
Yeah. So so they're the basic mags you've got in an AEG. You can then get gas or CO2 mags, which are still mid caps, but they use a different way to expel the BB using gas or CO2. And then there's HPA, which is high pressure air, which uses an air tank on your back, which actually goes into the bottom of your gun rather than the magazine, unless you're it's a pistol. And you can use high caps or mid caps with that. So there's loads of nuances which I think we'll get into in future videos about the specifics of sight rules, what the difference between different types of kits, such as magazines, etc. Brands we'd recommend, guns we've used, etc. But going back to what I was saying before we got into another tangent, I had my combat tactical MTP jump rig. Then I sold that. So actually, one of your friends, I think it was Grimlock, at Outpost, if I remember correctly.
I don't know.
Oh no, it was one.
I have
lots of friends. It was one of Stitch's ones actually. Ironically,
I sold my stuff, my Ospreys, to Stitch and Whisper. Yeah, but it was Whisper and Stitch's mates who bought your stuff.
Yeah. That was at the long week there at Northwest Airsoft Festival, the first one, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. I mean, I rocked up, and within half an hour, within the first 10 minutes, I'd sold both me bloody Ospreys.
Yeah. Well, we'll come to that. I wonder, that's cancelled that now, isn't it? That's got to be, because it was due for July.
I don't know. I think it's in holding pattern for now, isn't it? I guess we'll all see once this lockdown lifts, but until then, don't do nothing stupid type thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
finishing off, I have now settled on my Warrior Assault kit, which I got. That's expensive, by the way. I got mine secondhand off some friends. So if you're looking, Warrior Assault stuff is good, but expensive if you're buying new. If you're looking for a good quality...
Warrior is also purchased and used by actual regulars and soldiers and reservists and the likes as well. So you're getting some good tough kit for that anyway.
I actually got
cheaper alternatives.
Off one of those people who went out and bought everything pretty Gucci straight away. Funny enough.
Are we thinking about the same person?
We are thinking about the same person. Right, and so I've settled on that with a yoke, which is a harness belt kit, and I've also got a second loadout, which is, I guess you call my fast loadout, my CQB loadout, which is a combat tactical chest rig. Cheap and cheerful, cost me 30 quid when I got it, and a similar yoke harness belt kit from Combat Tactical go with it. So that's what I've settled on, and it's working out for me. Will it change? Will I see something new? Of course I will. It's one of those hobbies where something's coming out all the time, but you will end up spending a lot of your disposable income on it, which isn't a bad thing, but
not necessarily, because some people will decide and
mortgage
stick
their house
to what they have.
Yeah,
some people will stick to their guns on it and be happy with what they've got first time round.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine as well. If you want to spend a little bit more money on some stuff, that's also fine. Because at the end of the day, it's your money. Yeah. It's what.
So that's basically where I am. I've got 2 main kit loadouts, 3 primaries, and about 4 pistols, which I use regularly. And that's where I am after 2 years. I've probably spent, to be honest, about $6,000 total, including consumables, which is gas and BBs, in 2 years. Which, when you think about it, isn't that much when you're going out and having an 8-hour game day, enjoying yourself, and you could spend for 30 quid when you could spend twice that going to a theme park. So it ain't and you get an exercise. So that it's all a cost.
Yeah, and then don't forget, certain theme parks, people are going to want to buy fast track lark.
Yeah, and the queue, you don't have to queue to get shot. That's also a good thing. So that's me. That's where I am. So Grimlock, try and keep it short and sweet. Go through the stuff you've been.
Boy, I hope you boys are ready for this.
Strap in, buckle up, and get your popcorn. This is going to be a long one. You carry on with the stuff you're using at the moment. I'm just going to take a quick pee while you're chatting away. Be right back.
Okay, well, I am currently at, I'd say, 4 loadouts. All with plate carriers. One of them's a dedicated CQB style, but actually, you know what? I'm going to say it's a 3.5 because it uses the same kit, just a different plate carrier, and that's the MTP, which is the British multicam stuff. So for out in the field, in the woodland open sites, I use a jump plate carrier, which has got the Molade mesh sides. I've used that with my trusty USMC Biogen pattern coyote coloured knee pads, which I've had for God knows how many years, and I could probably do with buying a new pair. Those things are they're really bulky, but they don't get in the way. They're really good. Boots wise, that's another thing as well that we missed. Always get a good, decent pair of ankle support boots. I mean, it's great running around your trainers and all that, but if second you roll on your ankle, that's you done for a few weeks, months, whatever. So yeah, anyway, coming back to my kit, it's basically my old army lower boots, which I've had for about 15 years now. They're due to be replaced. Pair of MTP issued combat trousers, issued MTP U-backs, which is underbody armor combat shirt. Use a pair of hard knuckle gloves, lower face protection, shooting glasses, and matching MTP cap. In the woodland, I used a JPC, and that's a combat tactical one. So it cost me 30 quid, and then obviously I added. It has 3 built-in pouches on the front that you can fit M4 mags in. I don't think it can quite fit AK mags in, but don't quote me on that. I've never tried. And then I've added pouches. Going over to the CQB version, it's the Spartan plate carrier, which is it just buckles at the side, so it's just the front and back. And all my plate carriers have got a chest-mounted pistol holster, left-handed. No. Only the Spartan one, the CQB did have the one for the twins, but now that I am running the Glock carbine and the MP7, I'm going to be using the 9mm mag pouch and reducing that down just to one of the pistols. That could change again. I mean, a lot of my plate carriers are forever changing, but now that I've got those plate carriers, it's only the pouches on there that change, and those plate carriers are like the one constant. Coming to the other 2 sets of kit, I also have Tropic Multicam, which I love my Tropic Multicam stuff. I've got the Condor cap, and it's Emerson Gen 3 trousers and U-backs, and then I've got a 8 fields jump plate carrier style. It is slightly different because it's not like skeletal on the hips. It's just more solid with the mole on. And then obviously again bought myself Tropic MTP pouches, Tropic Multicam, and I've also got the drop leg MP7 holster for that as well, and Tropic Multicam. And the last one is it's a Russian camouflage to go with my Gorka E, which is in summer SS Leto or Partisan. I'll say Partisan for the easy use. And yeah, Partisan. It's that. So I've got the Gorka top, Gorka jacket, Gorka trousers, and then it's a matching plate carrier and pouches. They getting pouches for that was a little bit harder because it's not an easy camouflage to come by. But again, all three of the field use plate carriers share a very, very similar setup. So obviously it just depends on I fancy a bit of Tropic MTP today.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed myself doing since I started playing. As I've only got 2 loadouts, but I'm setting them up the same way. So the muscle memory works with them, and I know where everything is.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times you've said, "What do you've got it like that for?" It's better this. See, I still seek advice about how to set my kit up, and Grimlock is my go-to man to go for that because.
Well, when I was in the army as well, one of our sergeants, anytime any of the new lads had come through, he'd send them to me with their webbing, so I got it built. When it comes to webbing, assault vests, plate carriers, any kind of combat equipment, I was a guru for it. I mean, I'm well toot my own horn. Still am quite happy. I mean, I've set up the general manager's plate carrier for bomb up.
Yeah,
because he was struggling to figure a few bits out or get it on properly.
You seem to have a good grasp of what's comfortable and practical. I think is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, well, it comes from just using it all out in the field for so long myself. I mean, I was around when Mole was first introduced, so obviously being one of the first, I wouldn't say one of the first airsofts to use it, but being on that front line of using Mole as it came into standard pattern use in the armed forces and in airsoft.
For those of you who don't know what Mole is, it's a form of
it's a ladder system, which
that I was trying to say. It's a system on plate carriers and belts that allows you to thread through pouches and attachments that give it that is quick. Is once you know what you're doing, it's quick, easy to change things up. It's a very secure,
and it is very, very secure.
Yeah, it makes it very secure and stops things falling off and everything like that.
If you attach it correctly, because I have seen
people who don't do it. And
we were at Moa, and one guy's Cyrus came apart because he pulled the emergency board on that. Basically, a lot of early plate carriers had a tab which would be pulled, and it had a wire which ran through it, and basically the plate carrier came apart. So if like the guy had been hit, the medics could get his kit off.
So I mean, I've just linked my latest kit review video in the chat. I'll also put it in the description for YouTube. You can see.
Yeah, that's one that I think we'll be all doing. I think we want to try and do individually, and then we'll send them to you to throw up.
Yeah, and there's Mole systems on the belts, which kind of give you a rough idea.
Mole has become pretty much the standard of equipment, attachment, and carriage since the early 2000s.
Even ones where you've got integrated pouches. There's mole on the front.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can buy an assault vest which has got just pouches straight on it. You don't have to attach anything. It's just there. You got your pouches.
I mean, my Warrior chest rig has integrated chest pouches, which are double stacked, meaning you can get 2 mags in each one, and that it holds AK, which you generously showed me how to do by taking it off and putting it back on. Like I said, he's pretty good with the kit. And I'm
pretty quick at it too.
Yeah, and giggity, and it's got Mole on the side, which allows me to put additional pouches on, which are generally my pistol pouches. So yeah, there's a wide variety of kit out there. So going back to one of our pieces of advice,
try it on if you can get to a store.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is like seek advice, go to a store and try it on. A lot of stores we know will allow you to try things try it before you buy.
If you've got a mate who's already an airsofter who wants to try and help you get into it, ask to try his kit on. Wait until the lockdown's
Over, of course, yeah. Most definitely. All right, then, we're coming up to the 45-minute mark. I think we will leave this particular episode here. Grimlock, thank you very much for your insight and joining us in this particular
Anytime,
podcast.
guys. I am more than happy to help. If anyone has any questions, you want to leave them on, comment them like
put them in the
Bambi
comments
said.
down
He can
below.
fire them to me. Yeah, you can fire them to me, and I can tell him, and he can give you a reply. Or I can find, once he tells me that someone's asked me a question, I can get on there and reply.
We'll put our team page on Facebook in the description on YouTube. Leave any questions on YouTube down below. We'll get back to you. Advice for even if you're a veteran player, we'll do our best. If you're just seeking general advice, we'll be happy to help.
Even if veteran players have advice to put up as well that we may have missed, that is perfectly great and fine and dandy, because we are just two guys at the moment, and everyone else may have their own perceptions, perspectives of it. They may have their own, say, oh well, being a veteran player, they may still stick to the likes of an older PLCE or Alice type webbing that you'll see from the 80s or the 90s,
like Mustang Dave, for example.
Yeah,
Andy,
I'll stand by PLC.
We can't answer that question. You need to speak to your parents about that one, okay? Just let me know.
God, what's the ask?
How a baby's made. It's actually quite tame, but we're talking about airsoft.
Well, when the mummy airsofter loves a daddy airsofter,
they make a riff, right? Okay. That is us done. Thank you, Andrew, for asking, I would say, good questions, but I'd be lying.
I will see him on GTA shortly.
Grimlock is calling you out on GTA 5. Our next episode will be the end of May. Haven't quite come up with a topic on that.
We have a month to figure it out.
Yes, we do. That is us done. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe, and until next time, take care.